Hey everyone, I hope you can hear me. You might have noticed that I am in a different place. I'm in a different location. I've actually packed out of my office and I'm currently in a wardrobe. Pretty cool, eh? Like, just... But tonight we're going to talk about some really interesting things. This is not the permanent setup, by the way. This is like a temporary setup, moving to another house, getting that going. But I kind of miss the live streams, kind of miss talking to you and talking about whiskey. So I thought, well, you know, who cares? Who cares about the big wall of whiskey behind us, the fancy lights? We'll do it live. So good to have you all in. Great to see 23 of you all in right now. And we're going to talk about some really interesting things. I've got some super exciting announcements. And we're going to talk about some of the whiskies I am hunting for. And also just, it's going to be casual chat, Q&A, talk to you with your kind of the questions you really want to ask about whiskey, whatever you want to do. I know it is a Wednesday. Most of you you might not be having a whiskey tonight. A lot of you in the Northern Hemisphere, could be morning for you. But here, it's Whiskey Wednesday. I'm going to have a dram. So before I get to your questions, I'm going to show you something, even though I'm not in this fancy location around... I do have a fancy little button here called my Dram Cam. So let's press the Dram Cam, find out what's on Dram Cam. Is it going to work? Let's have a look. Yeah, Dram Cam. Here's Dram Cam. I'm going to start the night, just a normal Knob Creek. I still got some left over from my bourbon video. That'll be a good way to start and talk to you guys. I really want to try the 12-year-old. That's what a few of you said. But we are going to move into some single malt. I've got some really interesting ones I'm going to drink tonight. And yeah, let's say a quick hello to all of you. I can see Amy is coming in from Edinburgh. I know you've asked a few times, Amy. So I recorded, you guys probably all watched the How Whiskey is Made video. That was a video I've been wanting to make for a long time. And the fact that Rob was keen from Cotswolds, because I already did that podcast with him and I knew he was good on camera. I knew he was good at like explaining things. I was like, well, if this can line up. Well, when I was over in London for the IWC award, I was like, that would be amazing. And it did, it lined up. And so that's what that video was. But I decided to shoot a bunch of things like in the UK. I'm here in New Zealand, so it's not that often you can be over in the UK. It's a long way, it's a long flight. So, but also did a vlog. I vlogged the whole thing, the awards, meeting Jeff, all sorts of things. So that video came out soon. And you guys probably all would have seen the hunting Scotch video that I just released. where we went to some really cool shops in London. And honestly, there were about like 5 other places on the list that we couldn't get to. A lot of other, like the Melody Bar, heaps of people were talking about that. Wish I could have got there, didn't have enough time. We just have to go back. Or go to Edinburgh, or wherever. Go to Ireland maybe next time. Simone is in from New Zealand. Good to have you in. Kinkirigi, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but he said, good morning, too soon for a dram, but cheers anyway. Simone said, evening, everyone, Phil, great to have you in. Is it coming up? Yep. And Whiskies My Jam is in. Great to have you in. Morning, bit early for Whiskey. I mean, it is 8:30 p.m. right here. Guess it could be. How late do you go? Poss is in. He said, hey there, people. And Jason Edward. New Zealand Firecraft. Here, nice, Phil. Here's to a better 2025. You going to be at Dram Fest? We'll talk about Dram Fest soon. I'm going to be there. Got some special things to announce for that. Dave Swift is in. Absolute legend. And Link is in as well. Both of you great patrons. Amy is, what a great way to start my morning. See my fave Kiwi. So in that vlog we did, I actually managed to meet Amy in Edinburgh just before I went to see Charlie McLean. She quickly showed me around Johnny Walker, which was super cool. It's amazing, like setup, just like from someone, you know, because I got this video advertising background, and like even for all the kind of stuff people say about Diageo and stuff, they really know how to have like a cool setup and going there, and yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for showing me around. Donna Pass Whiskey is in. Cheers from California. Independent Old Potney 10 and Bowmore 9, both cask strength refill bourbon. Amazing. That sounds great. I need to try some more Old Potney. I'm not a big fan of the main Old Potney. Never really gone to it that much. It's never been like a go-to whiskey for me. Can you guys hear me? I'm just going to double check this. Paranoid because I'm... Okay, I'm taking my headphones out. I think we're good. But yeah, I really do... I need to go back to Old Potney and try some of those independent bottlings of it, because I've never warmed up to it. Same with Bowmore. That's another one I'd love to independent bottling. Bowmore, one, as you guys know, I haven't really been a fan of. I like pretty much a lot of Islay whiskies, but Bowmore, the normal kind of 10-year-old, just hasn't really I haven't really got on with compared to even say the Lefroy 10 and that sort of things. And these days it's pretty much just Port Charlotte 10 and Kilholm and St Aigan, my go-to for Islay whiskies. So I think the way to go for me would be independent bottlings. And as some of you saw in that London video I did, independent bottlings are really, really cool because you can taste distilleries that you wouldn't normally be able to taste. If you remember, one of the girl I met at Whisky Exchange talked about how Linkwood was their favourite distillery because there's a lot of independent bottlings of Linkwood and it's really good liquid, great like spirit character and stuff. Laura is in. Good to have you in from Switzerland. He said, good morning. Great to have you in. And Bradley is in as well. Evening. Good to have you in. And good morning from Slovenia. Amazing. You guys have a great country. I actually went there when was that? 2018, 19? I remember swimming in Lake Bled and I didn't realize, like thinking it was going to be really cold, but I didn't realize it has like thermal kind of activity under the lake and the water's like super warm. It was like kind of bizarre, but really cool to swim in there. And the country's just beautiful. It's a lot like New Zealand actually. Small population, beautiful country. And I think you're saying, and Donna said, ooh, that's what I'm drinking. Oh, nice. Nice work. Cool. So I think, is my chat working? No, it's just bumped. Here we go. Where are we? Nick Keen is in also from New Zealand. Hope to see you at Dram Fest soon. I'd say I'm biased, but I think the best whiskey festival in the Southern Hemisphere. If any of you in the Northern Hemisphere are just rolling in it, you have lots of money, you still tickets on Sunday, you should come along to Dram Fest. Dave Broom's going to be there. I think Alex Bruce from Ardmore, a bunch of different people from different distilleries are going to be there. I'm going to be there, and a lot of Kiwis in the chat will be there. So if you can get there, if there's any place to go, a lot of Australians fly over for this festival for how well regarded it is. It's hosted by Whiskey Galore, and the owner of that, as I've talked about before, you know, he's from Scotland. He knows everyone in the industry. And he's the guy that Alan Winchester, who was the head distiller at Glenlivet all those years, had huge respect for. And that's why we can get good whiskey in New Zealand, is Whiskey Galore, and they host Dram Fest. No one in Slovenia all on the whiskey. Why is that working? Let's go down a bit. Dramcam is so cool, Bradley said. Nice Knob Creek. I still like the Knob Creek. I think, look, it's still sweet, but it's something to start the night with. It's just easy, so drinkable. And the more I have it, the more that nuttiness I get. I'm jealous of, like, Americans will get it much cheaper than me. Morning from, love the walkthrough of Cotswolds Distillery. Thank you so much. I had heaps of fun making that, eh? Rob is like, such a good, like, because, you know, there's brand ambassadors, but then there's brand ambassadors that I would want to put in front of the camera because, you know, I want you guys to really enjoy it. And he was one just like, he could simplify things so easily, like complicated whiskey topics in just such a simple way. Like, he's the sort of person that if he started a YouTube channel himself, I think he'd do quite well. He's almost like a Daniel Whittington of the UK, I reckon. They also got the big beards. As a Canadian, we're not drinking anything American. I need to drink some Canadian whiskey, actually. Tell me, what should I buy? Actually, speaking of this topic, maybe that's something I should be going for then. Canadian whiskey, you Canadians in today, definitely. I'm very keen as a fellow Commonwealth. Tell us. Hayden Black said, hi Phil, can't stay long, but we'll catch up on the replay. Great to have you in, Hayden. And Donna Pass said, great whiskey. Yeah, you guys loved that. Would you guys like more of those sort of more vlog type, going through a shop, seeing what I find interesting? I was thinking that, see, the thing is I'm in NZ, so London's quite relevant, because I feel like most of you at some point on your whiskey journey will probably be in London at some point. Pretty much everyone, I feel like, I mean, as long as you got the money. If you're going to Europe or you're passing through, you'll probably end up being in London at some point. I don't know if I can say that about New Zealand. But what I could do is still go to normal whiskey shops and see what I think of them, what I like about the whiskies. And would you find it interesting? Like, I know Bruzel goes through like just random shops and stuff, and maybe just the experience of how I'd pick a whiskey and stuff. Maybe I should build a little budget up so my next batch of whiskies I buy, I do it in a vlog, but let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I hope everyone has Sinag in hand. I hope so. Sinag, it's like the, it's almost like the, well, yeah, the kind of the national drink of Firstville Whiskey Channel now, isn't it? Actually, I think the Kilhoman distiller might be at Dram Fest. All right, I'll just tell you what I'm doing. At Dram Fest in New Zealand, I'm going to be hosting some live streams like this, but better set up. I'll bring all my cameras, and I'm going to pick a few people to interview. So if there's someone you want me to talk to at DramFest, whether it's Dave Broom, whether it's the head distiller at Kilhoman, because we don't normally get the opportunity to talk to these sort of people in New Zealand, and suddenly they're all here, they're all arrived. Maybe I should post a link. If any of you I should make some of you admins, maybe you, Nick. Post a link to DramFest and you can see the guest list. I actually don't know how to make you an admin. How do we? Oh, it's all right. It's all good. You guys can look it up. Yeah. So, howdy from California. Good to have you in, Alan. Whereabouts in California? Yeah. Morning from Athen, and Cadenhead's Ignis 15-year-old blended malt tonight. Dave Swift, always having the good drams. We need to arrange some sort of catch up in Auckland. I'm actually not in Auckland right now, actually. I don't know if you can hear the beach through the audio. You can probably hear it out there. I'm actually back in Hopi just for a few days, but I'll be back in Auckland very soon. I'm in this like weird stage where I'm trying to decide, you know, our house is actually in Auckland. This is not actually our house. So I've moved out of the old studio. I'm here kind of in just a wardrobe. But eventually we're going to buy a new house at some point. But there's a whole bunch of stuff related to that. Things that are holding us up. So the independent old Pulteney is bizarre. Fresh green pine needles and juniper. Interesting. Am I right that old Pulteney has worm tubs? Am I right about that? I do remember it being a really interesting kind of funky whiskey. But for some reason I didn't really get on with old Pulteney, so I'd love to try an independent bottling. John B said, hey Phil from Sydney, Australia, drinking a Ben Romick Contrast Cara Gold. Yum. I love anything Ben Romick, eh? As I said, like, many times, Ben Romick's... If I was to take a spirit character, like what comes off the still, it would probably be, like, what was my favourite? It probably would be Ben Romick. Like, every expression I seem to like. I like it has that heaviness to it. And, yeah. And let's go through. Good morning. Hey, Leo, good to have you in. Good to have you in. And Dan said, independent Glen Tockers and Dowloon are some of my... I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. Some of my faves. G'day from Perth. Good to have you in, Dan. Athen said, whoa, it's Sinag Man. That's Leo, by the way, if you guys don't know who Sinag Man is. Yeah, so great. There's been a lot of comments. Anyone new in? Good afternoon from Singapore. If you guys want to talk to me directly, now that a lot of you are in, 65 of you at this point, I think from here on out, just at me, type at First Fill Whiskey if you want to ask me a question directly. Otherwise, I always feel like there's kind of, two streams. There is the stream, a lot of you will be watching this on replay, which watch this all the way through. There's going to be some exciting things we're talking about. But then there's like the stream where you guys are actually interacting with each other in the chat, which is really cool too. So do at me, because I can miss the comments. Chris just said, I just booked my Friday Dram Fest ticket. Is there Friday tickets still left? That makes it 3 days for me now. Can't wait. Great. The thing is, a lot of your names I know from the chat, from the comments, but I don't know what you even look like, Chris. So do come and say hello to me. If you're going to be at Dram Fest, if you are a New Zealander, if you've come from overseas, if you see me, come talk to me, because I might not know what you look like, but you might know what I look like. So do come talk to me. I'd love to meet you all. Henry's also going to be there. Awesome. Be great. Henry, you're a legend. It'll be great to see you there too. Whiskies My Jam will be flying to Dram Fest in 2025 for Dram Fest 2025 from Australia. See you good folk Friday nights from the SMWS. Awesome. Great. I can't wait to see you all there. This is awesome. I feel like I'm going to meet so many of you. It's not just Roy and his streams where he actually gets to meet his subscribers and meet people who are like watching along. So I actually feel like this is the first Dram Fest where I will actually get to meet a lot of you. So this is going to be really exciting. I'm so excited to try a bunch of really interesting drams and see you all. So I have just bought my first Kilkerran 12. I can definitely identify with the Campbelltown Funk, definitely. A lot of people who have bought the poster, I did manage to get one up. The A3s, which I'm not doing anymore because I found the text too small, and I just didn't. Yeah, then I felt like it needed to be readable, so I'm not releasing A3 anymore. So I've got a few extras. And a lot of you asked, what is heavy funk? Like, what is that? It's a term a lot of whiskey enthusiasts use, heavy funk, to describe something that's kind of a little bit obscure. It's not fruity, it's not rich, it's not smoky. It's something else. You don't know what. There's a funkiness there. Everyone kind of has a different description for funkiness, but on my whiskey tree poster, for me it was that industrial notes, those sulfur notes, those farmy notes, and those kind of almost savory umami notes, like cheesy, and some whiskeys I've even have had like soy sauce and stuff. So they're kind of extra flavors I actually want to add to the tree. I'll probably do an updated version. I want to do a dark version of it. So stuff like cheese notes and stuff will go in there too. But yeah, so the thing about Kilkerran, I always actually get, it's almost like a mustardy note almost. There's this funkiness, there's some of that light and fruity side, but there's this funkiness to it, that heaviness, which is great. A lot of beginners don't love funk. It's kind of like, it's like peaked, but another level. It's sort of like as you go down your whiskey journey, a lot of the people who are really into whiskey, those funky, heavy whiskies end up being their favorite whiskies. But for people who just getting into it, you might try a Kilkerran 8 and think, what on earth am I drinking? Why does this taste like mushrooms? Henry, he's definitely a whiskey enthusiast. He's having a Hazelburn 15. That's from Springbank. So if you guys don't know, Hazelburn, that's the one where I think I'm right about this. It's not no, it is it triple distilled or 2.5 times distilled? Which means if you watch my distillation video, the more times you do that distillation, the more those light kind of flavors can get through. So, and Shelter Point Canadian, that's actually a good whiskey. I need to get my hands on a Canadian whiskey like that. Yes, Edinburgh. Come to Edinburgh, definitely. Keen. And so let's go back to the Dram Cam. Yeah. Look at that. Knob Creek. Let's go to our next whiskey. So the next whiskey is a whiskey which Patron sent me. This one is from Joseph. He's a barrel whale patron. There's this one here. I don't know if you can actually see that. The Aultmore Cojito. That's actually a 20. He sent me a sample. Get this cable out of the way. Sample of the Aultmore Cojito. I don't know how that's pronounced. If Drummond is in, he will know, because this is from Portugal. This is a tawny port rather than like a ruby port. I think that's right. And this was a Korean exclusive. So this is what's cool with the whole share and enjoy thing. When patrons like send me drams to try, just because they want me to try them. It's just from their own collection. I think that's really cool. So thank you for your dram. Let's go back. So Ardmore is not one you see a lot of everywhere. I have talked a lot about it on my channel. And, you know, I've always talked about it being a great light and fruity. It was in my recent video for the London hunting video. Yeah, Kilhoman Founders at DramFest 2025. Cool. So I'll have to talk to him, talk about Sinag. If you guys have questions for any of these distillers, I'm also going to do like probably a little vlog similar to what I did with the London video, but actually talk to a bunch of distillers at DramFest. And so if you guys have questions if I bring up, is this going to work? If I go new window and we go to, is this going to work? DramFest. I mean, I can go find these people, ask them questions. If I go screen To me. Hello. Okay, we're having some of that Aultmore. I'm just going to check if anyone's at me. If you want to talk to me... Oh, sorry. There's no sound on that. Was there? Sorry, there's no sound. This is me working in my little location, trying to figure out things. I obviously must have not copied my sound over. Anyway, you might have seen from that little section, I hope not too many of you left, all I was saying is that a bunch of those distillers, those managing directors, all those people are going to be at Dram Fest. So if you want me to talk to any of them, I might do a little vlog, interview them. If any of you watching are any of those people, come talk to me at Dram Fest. If any of you have questions for them that I could ask, yeah, let me know. So I should have been on top of these comments because you guys told me there was no sound. I think this is probably why YouTube does the jump thing. I know other people get like... Andrew Park said, hey Phil, just heard from the other barrel. Wow, Andrew Park, believe he sent you the Aultmore. Don't worry, I have something in store for you. Oh, it was from Andrew. Great. Aultmore's a great spirit, eh? Going back to talking about Aultmore being one of my favourite, light and fruity. And thanks to your super chat, by the way, Joseph. Cheers for your virtual dram. You're a big part why my channel even keeps running. Been a barrel whale, all your super chats. And also you members of the channel, you guys keep this channel running. I really want to keep bringing you all the best content possible. Obviously tonight I've had to make do, but I want to talk to you guys. But thank you so much. If you guys want to become a patron, there's a link in the description. If you want to become a member, if you want to get emojis in the chat, you can do that as well. So as you can see next to his name and stuff. So cheers to you, Joseph. Now, let's just quickly, like to join, hope I don't miss too much. Good to have you in from Canada as well. Am I scrolling? And Andrew was in as well. Good to have you in. Hey, didn't know there was a live stream. Driving back from golf and we had Arran 10 on the course. Boy, that sounds good. Andrew, I believe you will be in New Zealand. I'm really keen to meet up. I really want to. I may still be down here. Great golf course down in the Hopi, by the way, if you want to come down here. But yeah, I hope we can meet up. First of all said, could I please recommend me a whiskey so I can identify this with sulfate notes? The whiskies I find that have a lot of sulfur notes are whiskies like this next whiskey, actually. I'll show you. Let's put it on Dram Cam. Still working? No. Dram Cam. There it is. There it is. John B has become a member. Thanks, John, for becoming a member of this channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And so this is an Ardmore. It's actually from Cadenheads. I didn't buy this while I was in London. So I did, a lot of you asked, what did I buy in London? I did actually end up buying a Cadenheads Glenglasser, which is amazing, incredible. I asked him there, I was like, which one should I get? And I probably should have included the stuff I actually bought in the end. The problem was I didn't have that much luggage space because I had all my cameras with me. So it seemed a little bit like, yeah, not really worth. I think if I actually went there and I wasn't so short a time, I would have had a second bag, would have brought a whole bunch of whiskies back, and then in that video I would have shown you all those whiskies I bought. But I did buy a Cadenheads, and it was fantastic. This one, however, this is an Ardmore 11, 46%, and it is aged in Pinot Noir cask. Chasing Giant just sent a super chat. He said, here's my super chat, bro. Cheers for you being legendary whiskey entertainment. Just picked up Lagavulin 22 cask strength in, and it's just jumped away. Let me go back. Well, did you enjoy it? Let's get a chance. Aged in virgin oak. Will I enjoy it? I'm sure you will. That sounds great. Cask strength virgin oak Lagavulin. If you like the Lagavulin 8, I imagine you'll like that. I don't know if I've had that 22. Is that the one which was the special release with the phoenix on the front of it? But anyway, cheers to your virtual dram. Thank you so much, Chasing Giants. Good to have you in, and thank you so much for your super chat. Yeah, so going back to, and yeah, thanks also as well, John, for becoming a member of the Festival fam and getting emojis. You're the ones, the way I make live streams, the way I pay for live streams is through my members, whereas patrons are the ones that kind of fund my videos. So it's you members that keep this going. Okay, so I'm going to try the Aultmore. Someone asked before, what are whiskies that have sulfur notes? Generally, I find sulfuric notes come from stuff aged in wine casks. Because this is aged exclusively in Pinot Noir casks, I don't actually believe it says where. I don't think it even says where. I don't know why they don't put the information on. I don't know if the box was missing when I bought it or something. Anyway, this is something I do find sulfur notes, because sulfur notes can be something you do find in wine, that sulfuric thing, and that's why with Cotswolds, we're talking about, they use STR casks. I think STR casks get a little bit of a bad rap, but this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to use those wine casks, re-char them, and toast them, and you know, so you get in the wine. You guys will watch my making a whiskey video. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to reduce that sulfur note, but some people like the sulfur note. But I'd say though, this being a single cask aged exclusively in Pinot Noir, I think it's a little bit too much. In Rotorua, which is a town in New Zealand, they have all, if you've ever been here, it has all these geysers and stuff. Like, it's a bit like Iceland, right? If you've ever been to Iceland, you have all like the volcanic activity and big geysers, like that sulfur stuff going on in the air. That's kind of what that sulfur notes are. Sometimes it, like, there's this little crossover between like mustard and sulfur. Some whiskies I find quite mustardy, can be a bit sulfury, but in kind of a yum way. Yeah, the thing is about this is I can see why distilleries now finish their casks with, you know, a red wine cask rather than the entire life. Like, they use it as an ingredient, because I think, even this on the nose, it's just a lot. It's a lot of sulfur. So I'm not a huge fan of this, actually. Love you, Caden Heads. You guys are great, but that's the thing about single casks. You get one that's absolutely amazing, and you get one that's really interesting, but maybe not one that to my palate. I'm sure some of you might like it. And let's double check this going. Okay. Cool. And I'm just going to quickly go down. I messaged Joel from the London video. He is so sweet. Joel was amazing from Milroy's. He is epic. Let's go back to this. Audio still going. Good. Yeah, he was so cool. He like took us upstairs, me and Jeff, and there was actually like probably half an hour worth of footage from us talking to him. So I had to cut it right down, but there's a lot of good stuff. Joseph said, loved your videos from London, especially the hunting for whiskey. Which store or whiskey was the most delightful or surprising? I mean, I have an attachment to Milroy's, because that was when I first got onto whiskey, and I was like, I need to try more whiskies. That was the bar I went to explore more whiskey. And yeah, it was a big part of my whiskey journey when I first got into whiskey. So Milroy's, but all the whiskey exchanges were great. The last one especially I really liked. I think it was Covent Garden one was great, but they're all great. I don't really think there was a off. I mean, apart from Tesco's, but you know, that's not a whiskey shop. Whiskey said, do come a vlog at the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society stand Friday night. Yeah, keen. Tell me what to do. Tell me, yep, definitely. Keen as. Post Diddy said, you going to do a vid at Dram Fest? Yes, I'm going to do a vlog at Dram Fest. Similar to the video I've just released. I'm going to go talk to as many distillers as I can. But I'm also going to do some live streams like this with better cameras, better lights, talk to a bunch of people from the distillery. Dave said, be great to see you chat to Desiree, Soren and Matt, etc. to give people an insight into the direction of Kiwi whiskey. Definitely, I'm really keen. Waikiki Whiskey have already said they're keen to chat to me. They're really cool. Waikiki Whiskey really gets YouTube and what we're doing here. So they're always like super passionate to do anything with me. And I'm super keen to talk to any other distillers who want to talk, definitely. That would be really cool. Soren as well, like that 1919 release, that Goleta. And Dave, you're the one that put me onto that. You were the one who were like, this is like best value New Zealand whiskey. And it was great. It was awesome. I used it actually at a tasting I had in Whakatane. I hosted. Ethan said, hey Phil, we heard nothing when you were on the website First Fill Whiskey. Oh yes, sorry about that. I recommend going to talk to Marcos at North Star or Locklee. Awesome. Keen as. Okay, so I was going to talk about some of the whiskies that I've been hunting, some of the whiskies I'm after this year, and just got a couple other ads. Camp, I said, when are you coming to Tokyo so we can properly collab? Is that something people would want to see? How about you come to New Zealand? Come to DramFest. No jet lag. Come do it. We'll do a collab. It'll be awesome. I can't see me going over there. I mean, like, to go to London was a big deal. I got two very young kids. I'd love to go back though. But, I mean, I'd be keen. If you're over here as well, definitely reach out. Which days will you be at DramFest? All of them. I'll be at DramFest at all of them. So anyway, whiskies I am hunting. Whiskies I am looking for. There are a few on my list that I really want to try. They were... And this, I found this going through like Whiskey Exchange. They were the Ardmore. I still haven't had that, which is a new distillery from Islay that I really want to try. And they have worm tubs. Jim McEwen helped set it up. And apparently the first release is really good. They waited a while to release that first release, and I haven't had it yet. Another whiskey I've been keen to try is that Deanston 18. It's just always been on my list for like years now. And it just seems to be one of those best value 18-year-olds. 18-year-olds are just such hard whiskies to find these days. And then the Knob Creek 12. So the Knob Creek I had before, apparently a lot of you Americans said the 12 was good. But actually speaking to you in the chat as well, I'd love to try one of those, what was it called? One of the Canadian single malts as well. They've been on my list a long time, so let me know what I should try. This chat just keeps freezing. Okay, so in terms of the channel, I do have some exciting announcements. I have finally, and Roy and Vin have often said this to me, like, when are you going to do, and I've had a lot of you say, when are you going to do your own, like, first fill release? You know, a first fill. When are you going to, like, Bruzel calls them barrel picks. Roy's done a lot of collaborations with, say, Ardmore and picked a cask he's liked and stuff. So this is really interesting. I actually have found a distillery that I really like. I've tried the liquid. It has to be something I really like if I end up, having something that I can then pass on to you to try, like a first fill pick. And it's going to be coming out soon. It's a really exciting whiskey. There's a barrel. I actually filled it up. I shot a whole video around it. It is a New Zealand whiskey. It is one of my favorite New Zealand whiskies. And the new liquid is absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you'll probably have guesses to what it might be. But because it's only a quarter cask, I won't be able to kind of like do that many bottles. So obviously first it has to go to patrons, then it'll go to members. But I have set up a First Fill newsletter, which will be firstfill.com/, it's called Neat Notes. Neat Notes. You can find it on my website. If you go there, subscribe to my newsletter, then you can be on the list as well if you want to try the very first fill whiskey. And this one, honestly, I've tried it at 6 months old, and it is unbelievably good. It's really good. I think Nick King, you'll like this whiskey. I think you'll probably already guess what it might be. So anyway, that's kind of an exciting announcement. That's what's happening. If you're interested, there's probably only going to be like 30 bottles come out of it. But if you'd like to be kind of first on the list, if you would be interested in trying a whiskey that I've picked, subscribe to the newsletter, firstfillwhiskey.com/neat notes. My neat notes. I'm kind of like, it's going to be sort of like where I can put updates and stuff, like whiskey tips and that sort of thing, and like new releases, and just a place I can kind of get everything in one place. Because what I've found with all these different sort of platforms is, like, pretty much some people on some things, not all of you on Discord, a lot of you are. So I spend a lot of time on Discord if you're not on Discord. But I still want to give those people who want to, like, I still want to sort of update people, and that's hard to do on YouTube. YouTube's just not a good platform for it. So if you're interested, go subscribe to that newsletter. And have we got any other comments? So we're going to do another dram now. So this one here, I was actually sent this sample. So this will be interesting to try. Let's go to DramCam. It's actually an Indri 11-year-old. I think this is their oldest whiskey. They did send me this dram. Obviously not a full bottle, so I'm not going to put it in a video or any, but interesting to try, because it is something I talked about in my Whiskey of the Year video. That bottle in that Whiskey of the Year video was also one I've bought with my own money, by the way. That wasn't from Indri, but this one they did send me after watching that. So I'll grab another glass. I'm going to try it. So this is from India, and they've released 11-year-old, which is 58.5%. And apparently they were telling me that this is like some of the best liquid coming out of Indri now. And interesting to see how something in a warmer climate, what does it look like at a 10-year-old? Because this is something I've always thought about, like in those New World countries, what happens when you get to a 10-year-old? Is it gone too far? Like, is that too much over influence? Let's go back to that. Is it too much over influence? So I'll be interested to try. You get that same Indri, very fruity. It's almost like it's gone from the tropical notes over to, like, I can't find, oh, where do I find neat notes? Joseph has said. I will just show you. Let me just paste a link to that. You're on Patreon, don't need to worry. If we go to content, neat notes, I will post that right there and then pin it. Can I pin that? There you go. That is, I've posted the link right in the description now. That's neat notes. So when I do my own release, that's where I'll update you. Because I find I can just over email. I don't want to do it much. Like I hate writing. I hate emailing. So I promise it won't be very often. Probably once every 2 months I'll send you an email. But if I do send you an email, it'll be very good. It won't be spam. It'll be something that's important. And how do I, let's just bring that up to pin message. Cool. Great. I think that's in there now. Cool. Yeah. So if you want to, like, follow my next release, I'm going to bring a video up. Dave Swift was, it looks like I'm just interrupting your conversation, but yeah, Panacea is great. If you want to go to a good whiskey bar in Auckland, I don't see, the thing is, it's a real shame because the week you're here, I might not be here, but I'm really hoping that I can be there to meet you. But definitely go listen to Dave. I mean, even, I don't know if Dave wants to meet up with him, but Like, he'll show you around. He knows all the good spots. So that's a great suggestion. I think that's probably the best whiskey bar in Auckland now. So yeah, you can go to Neat Notes, Festival Whiskey. The Indri Drew is delicious. Yeah, so this one is that level up. I don't know what the price is. So that's the thing. I can say this is good, this is bad. But it's definitely more complex. There's a lot more going on. Oh, actually, that second sip is much nicer. The first time I was like, oh, okay, it's still that very sweet. For some of you, you'll really like Indri. It is a very sweet whiskey, very tropical. This is still very sweet, but it's almost like a Cadrona. It's got this like perfumey, floral, darker fruits, berries, stuff that I don't find in Indri Drew and Indri, the normal one. It's nice. It's nice. I don't have a full bottle. Andrew Park has just sent a super chat. Had Waiheke Moss and Thompson's the other day. I feel like New Zealand often has a unique olive flavour. I wonder if that is what people who haven't had Manuka smoke would interpret it as. That's actually a really good note. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for your virtual dram. Cheers to you. Cheers to being a patron, and thanks for your virtual dram. Really appreciate it. It's so great to actually chat to you guys all again. Even though I'm in like this weird wardrobe and there's like board games. There's some board games here. But stoked to talk to all of you. Chat whiskey. So thank you, Andrew. Thank you for your virtual dram. Really appreciate it. Have I missed anything? Let's just double check. Want to try American single malt distillery, Westwood Distillery? Yes, yes, please. Definitely. Westwood, Westland. Jeff Whiskey went on about Westland. All of those. Definitely want to try those. Joseph said, heading to NZ from 15 to 20. Oh, it is you. I'm getting confused between you and Andrew. Did I say Andrew before? I'm heading to NZ 15 to 22nd of Feb. Christchurch and Auckland have any whiskey stores or bar recommendations? As Dave said, go to Pansania, however it's pronounced. Love to join for your dram. If any of you want to catch up with Joseph as well, definitely. But I'm very keen to see you. And if I missed anything, should we go to our next dram? What would I say about that Indri? I think amazing. Where World Whiskey is, it's almost like it has complexity that you'd see in 20-year-old whiskies, but it still has this punch that you get in like those younger whiskies. So it's almost like a new category. Like it's not really old or new. It's kind of this, it's got a very long finish, like you'd find in a lot of more mature and older whiskies. But it has this upfront kind of punch you don't get in old whiskey. So I wonder if that's what would happen in Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, all those places when they start releasing, 11-year-old whiskey. So, Yum. Okay, next whiskey for the dram cam. Chasing Giants has just sent me a virtual dram. Thank you so much. A very generous one. He said, to help you compete with Bruce or Lowell and to help you get a Deanson 18. Thank you so much. Well, we'll definitely have to get that Deanson 18 now. It's been on the list for such a long time. It's definitely a whiskey I really want to try. Out of all the 18-year-olds, it's something that's still kind of affordable. So, but it's something I haven't had. And a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other whiskey reviewers and a lot of you talk about it. So thank you. Thank you, Chasing Giants. Let's move on to our next virtual dram. Thank you for your virtual dram. Thank you for the support. This next whiskey is, let's have a look. Let's go to DramCam. We're going to need to bring that camera down a little bit. I'm sorry to talk about Cotswolds again. The bottle I actually had for my Whiskey of the Year, World Whiskey of the Year, I actually did buy myself. In fact, I got another one to use at a tasting because I liked it so much. This one they did give me, it was just a sample, just a little one. And yeah, just fantastic stuff. I really like it. I like what they're doing there. I've become a convert to Cotswolds It's not just Scotch, it's English whiskey as well. And I really like this whiskey. It is punchy. It is really intense. I think if I was to say, if you were going to buy one whiskey, if you're a whiskey enthusiast, I would, maybe get the Founder's Reserve, because I think most of you would be able to get that. But this here is aged in, as we bleeped out in the video, you can guess who does lots of quarter casks, rhymes with Refroig, and I don't know why they can't even, we have to like take the, there must be some legality thing or something to it, but you do get a little bit of that Refroig character in it. So if we go back to, it's just amazing how good English whiskey now is. And this one here being 59.6%. Yeah, what I like, as Rob said, on the nose, it's just Cotswolds. It's fruity. There's a little bit of that smokiness, but you really have to search for it. It's just that palate. Somehow the light fruit and the peat are just mixing together. It's not like full blast, but it's what's so amazing about peat, right? It's a little bit like salt. Even something that's aged in a cask that had peated whiskey in it, that flavour's still going to come through because peat's such a strong flavour. If we go to Andrew Park, he's setting off. Great to have you in, Andrew. Appreciate you being in, and we'll chat soon. Lots of recommendations from all of you. Talk about Cotswolds, all you like, love the video. John B said, talk about Cotswolds all you like, love the video, and I have a sherry cask from them I'll try tonight. Awesome. I'd love to know what you think. I love Cotswolds. The whole reason that video even happened in the first place is I did a review of Cotswolds, the signature whiskey, years ago. I mean, I didn't know anything about them. I just bought that bottle because I think it appeared on the online Scotch Whisky Awards, and I thought, I'm going to try them. It was so good that I thought, I don't make many whiskey review videos, and I made one. And then Rob started a podcast. He interviewed me, and I was like, this guy's really cool and interesting. Then the whole thing came up where I got the International Wine and Spirits Award. I was nominated for it. So I came over to London, and I was like, maybe I could do, I had this video, a lot of you have asked about doing a video about how whiskey is made. And I've been thinking about it, like, who can I do it with? Because I feel like that's not just a video I can do from the desk. That's something I want to be at the distillery for. And I thought, you know what would be the ultimate person? Would be Rob from Cotswolds. So I messaged him, and he was like, yeah, sweet. And yeah, we made it happen. And he hosted me and took us around, and I just think it's good whiskey too. I didn't want it to be a distillery where I didn't like the whiskey. I reached out to some Scotch distilleries, but it was just a bit more tricky. I was only there for like 5 days in the UK, so yeah. Is there? Hammer said, Thompson Manuka smoke full noise is quite different take on smoky whiskey. Yeah, definitely. It's a really interesting, different smoky whiskey, and you can see why the people at Milroy's really like it too. Thompson was really interesting. I saw a lot of it in the UK, so it sounds like if you're in the UK, you can find Thompson, which kind of surprised me because they're quite a small distillery here in New Zealand, but they seem to have cracked the UK market. So I think any Europeans, you'll probably be able to get one if you're ever going through London. Whereas Waiheke, I don't think I saw any Poconos either, even though Pocono is in the US. I don't think I saw any Cadronas. I know Cadronas was in Waitrose at one point, but first of all, have you ever had milk and honey? I've had a small dram of it, which was in that big box, the like World Whisky box thing. It was such a small amount that, I don't know, I don't think I need to go back to it. Hammer C, what are your thoughts on Scapegrace Ephemeral? Scapegrace, I think I've said this before, is probably the distillery I'm most excited about in New Zealand. They've put serious money down. If you look at the photos, the location, see, I love Bannockburn like wine. They're in such a cool location. Some of the early releases wasn't really for my palate. I think they're in small casks or something. Wasn't really for me. but it wasn't from their new stills. I really want to see what's coming from the new stills. So I don't know if I've tried that or not, but yeah, I really want to see what they do next. Some of the early releases, to be honest, I wasn't like, it didn't make me want to buy a bottle. But I think the direction where they're going, who knows, it might end up being my favorite distillery in New Zealand. Is there any? Jason said, have you tried much South African whiskey? Do you get much over there? 3 ships have started dropping age statements recently, which with interesting cask maturations, all craft. No, very keen to try it. I don't know. I mean, Dave will know in the comments, like, can we even get that in New Zealand? I can't remember ever seeing it. I feel like, I do know 3 Ships is a good whiskey. I've seen it on, like, other people talk about when they, talk about world whiskey, that South African whiskey is, the 3 Ships from South Africa is really good single malt. But I haven't tried it myself, so. And yeah, Dave said, Odyssey Barley is so fruity. Yeah, great. It's very fruity. It's almost in the Arran category for me, for Cotswolds. Huge fan of it. I like that little twist on it, like the smokiness from the peated cask. So, yeah, if you want to keep up with like the newsletter and stuff, make sure you subscribe to the Pins Notes, Neat Notes, when I do my first fill cask release. There's probably only going to be like 20 or 30 bottles that come out of it. It's kind of a test. I don't know. Other kind of YouTubers do it. Ralphie's done it with Springbank. Roy's done it with Ardmore. Why is there a... That was weird. And Bruzel does it almost every other video. So yeah, I am going to be releasing my own whiskey, and if you want to be, I'll offer it first to the patrons, then the members from the YouTube channel, and the members, if you join the YouTube, if you become a YouTube member, get the emojis, and then it'll go out to the people who are subscribed to my Neat Notes, which is my newsletter, which I won't send that often. Joseph said, what whiskies are you planning on reviewing in the future? Are you sticking with macro whiskey issues like how to hunt, how whiskey is made, or doing reviews? Yeah, I mean, I feel like G Whiskey and Ralphie do such good reviews, and they review so many whiskies, that I'd almost be better spending my time on the things that maybe they wouldn't have the time to do. A lot of you have given me feedback saying you like the deep dives, which is why I wanted that How to Whiskey is Made video. I was really keen to try this new kind of hunting video, which isn't a big category within the kind of Scotch niche on YouTube. So I was really curious to see what you guys thought of that video, because in the bourbon world, that's a massive like category for whiskey kind of videos and entertainment. But if you guys like that, you want to see more of that, yeah, maybe I'll do one. I go to like just normal shops, talk about what I want to buy. Maybe, and if you guys really like it, maybe I go to Sydney or something, and maybe I get McIntyre malts, and maybe we do a collab, and we go to a bunch of whiskey shops in Sydney, and maybe we do go to Tokyo and catch up with Campai Planet, and I don't know. It depends how much you guys want to see that. I'm keen to know from you. At the end of the day, this channel is not for me, it's for you. I'm keen to know what you guys like the most. Would you like to see more reviews, more deep dives, which take a bit longer to edit, but a lot of you, seem to really like the history of Scotch, sherry casks explained and all that sort of thing. Or more lists, or maybe more challenges. I did that video on trying like the worst whiskies, when I asked you guys on Discord, like, what are the worst whiskies? And then I tried them, and then ranked them and told you what was my favorite, for some like budget kind of bangers, or as Jeff would say, banging whiskey. So banging. So let's jump on to the last dram, and let's go to something interesting, something nice, something I haven't talked about in a while. It's great to talk to all of you. So this is going to be a special whiskey. And let's go over to the dram cam. It is going to be the Arran 23 Drummond Point. So you, Joseph, talking about going to a golf course? This is a whiskey I've been savouring for a long time. This is Arran 23-year-old, 49.5%, one of my absolute favourite whiskies. And got that fruitiness, but complexity, super long finish. Just such a huge fan of this dram. This was a special release they did about 3 years ago. And just such a nice dram. I don't think you'll be able to get this for the prices you can get it. I don't think you'll be able to get this for the price that I got it a few years ago. That's the only thing. So, yeah, that's really nice, really tasty. Take it away. Zoom in, zoom out, and I've been trying to get my wife more into whiskey, because I actually think she's got a much better nose than I do. I can kind of get those general flavors. That's why I need help. That's why I need the poster, because I need help getting those flavor notes. When she tries whiskey, she gets like, so she tried this the other night, and the first thing she said was honey, like an apple dipped in honey. And now I can't it's not unsee, I can't unsmell that. Every time I smell it, it's like, that's just an apple dipped in honey. It is. Oh, so good. So you get the apple, the honey, that sort of toffee apple, basket of fruit, and this nice vanilla. It's almost vanilla ice cream comes through, like a fancy vanilla ice cream. Vanilla bean. Yeah, it's good. Arran honestly are doing great stuff. They're so good. That's what I find sometimes with a YouTube channel, is like, do I just bang on about the same whiskies too much? So I'm very keen to go outside my, like, you know, outside the boundaries of whiskey, try stuff like the Indri 11, stuff I wouldn't normally try. But yeah. John B said shopping video was entertaining and informative. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, if you want to see more of that, collab with me for Edinburgh Whiskey Shops. Keen as. And I loved it. Edinburgh was so cool. I was so glad I could go there. And to talk to Charlie McLean, to be there, honestly, it felt like a dream when I went to Edinburgh. I saw you. I stayed with Charlie McLean, stayed at his house, and his sons, who are doing this crazy row across the Pacific. They're rowing. If you guys haven't watched that video yet, his sons are rowing across the Pacific. Like this, they're amazing. And then we tried these awesome whiskies. I also met up with Ben from the Whiskey Dictionary. I think it's now called, what's he called it now? He's changed the channel name again, but he's back. Go find Ben. He's awesome. He helped me shoot it. Thank you so much, Ben. You're just absolutely legendary. So I caught up with Ben. He helped me shoot it, and yeah. So the whiskies they were talking about, the Ardmore and the Glen Scotia, they have that special release they're doing, which Charlie McLean's done the notes for, and which you can buy from Royal Mile, which apparently I tried a little bit and it was amazing. It was really good. If it wasn't for the fact I didn't have like a suitcase full of camera gear, I would have bought a bottle. But Glen Scotia and Ardmore you can't go wrong with. And especially where like it's been selected by Charlie McLean. And yeah. Phil, if you make it to Adelaide, I have a free accommodation for you. And you're free reign in my bar. Keen as. Keen. I would love to. I've always talked about going to Adelaide because my wife and I, before having kids, like wine was the thing we did together, like going up to the Barossa Valley and stuff. So yeah, definitely. I'll take you up on that. That'd be awesome. You show me that. Yeah, great. That'd be awesome. And It's gone again. The thing is with old whiskey, the way it's always like, what do they say? A minute in the cask. No, a year in the cask is a minute in the glass, right? So 23-year-old, the best this dram will get will be around 23 minutes. So now I'm getting more cereal notes. And this is what's so interesting about whiskey, is it changes over time as it sits in that glass. Cereal. More vanilla. It's more like more biscuity. The fruity's still there. There's a floral there. But what? Almost a lavender, jasmine? Something there florally. A lot of that breadiness coming through as well, that biscuitiness, that wooden grain. Yeah, absolutely fantastic dram. So good, so good. And so yeah, I'm just going to go through. So, are you going to get any bourbons? Maybe. Depends on the prices and stuff. We pay a little bit more for bourbons in New Zealand. So like, say for example, the Knob Creek 9 in New Zealand is probably going to be the same price as, say, I'd say the Herrick, you know, like these two will kind of be the same price, whereas in the US, for you in the US, this will probably be double to whatever this is, right? So it's kind of the value gap you have to weigh up when you're in somewhere like New Zealand. So we're not from Scotland, we're not from the US, but our Scotch is generally, like, bourbon's still pretty good value, but compared to what you guys pay in the US, like when you're paying $30 for like these like great kind of enthusiast whiskies, it's probably not $30. I'm sure this is probably more than that, but yeah, we don't quite get that, but I still think there's a lot of bourbons I really like, so I'm keen to explore it more. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, single malt's my go-to, my thing. Just dropping in if you have already been asked. Now, when you guys want to talk to me, make sure you at me. Just at First Fill Whiskey, then I can see your comment easily. If you've been asked, have you tried the Gospel Melbourne made rye? I have tried the Gospel. It's great. I had it not last summer, the summer before, and it was amazing in old fashions. The Gospel from Melbourne, really, really good. I'm not someone who like just drinks whiskey neat. I'm not like, you know, whiskey should just be drunk neat. I like it in old fashions and stuff. I'm obviously not going to put this in an old fashioned because it's worth too much. It's too expensive. But something like the Gospel, fantastic. And I honestly, personally, as I talked about in my, I can't remember which video, one of the videos, the Sagamore cask strength, which is also a rye. I really like rye in old fashions. I don't know why. There's something that cuts through really well. I think I like it better than bourbon and single malt. And so if I was going to choose something for an old fashioned, and especially here in New Zealand where it's summer right now, it's hot, I think, yeah, a rye is probably the way I'm going to go. That sort of spiciness kind of cuts through a little bit with a rye. Okay, final dram, which I've just shown you, and it is going to be Herrick. This whiskey is good. I find it's a little bit expensive in some markets. It's not bad, very light and fruity, like really in that lane, not smoky, not rich and spiced, but complex. Comes with a good age statement. They've waited a long time to release this from the Isle of Harris. Really cool. I really hope like not too many distilleries closed down from all that's happening. Like, I feel like whiskey's kind of not out of fashion, but it's down from the peaks of 2021, you know. I think Diageo came out recently where like their profits are down on single malt. So I really hope these types of distilleries don't close down, because they're probably going to be first hit. But I do really like this whiskey, but I do know that it can be quite expensive. But it's cool that it's 46% unchill filtered natural colour. Very spirit forward. You know when a distillery is confident in their spirit style. So if you watch my how to make whiskey video, if you watch my video on distillation, so there's kind of two kind of main, there's all sorts of ways to make whiskey, right? The barley, the yeast, all sorts of things. But I think if you boiled it down, it's really how do you distill your whiskey, and what sort of cask do you put it in? The thing is, with some distilleries, you can hide a lot with a cask. You can put it into like a really sort of heavy sherry cask. So if you have a bad spirit, you can kind of fix it with a really heavy, you know, a sherry bomb. So distilleries that release whiskies that are light in colour, fully ex-bourbon cask matured, you know they're confident in their spirit style. So you get this with Glencairn, Aultmore. You get this with, say, the Arran. Arran 10's probably got a mix between ex-bourbon and ex-sherry cask. But if you just put something in an ex-bourbon cask, which isn't as heavy on the spirit, you got to be confident that whatever is coming off your still is great liquid. And I think, you know, Herrick do that quite well. Yeah, it's nice. Not super sweet, but fruity. It's kind of like there's a lot of almost lemony notes, white fruit, biscuity notes, vanilla. Bacon spices. Yeah, it's nice. What I like about this is that compared to, say, a Cotswolds or an Arran, it's not as sweet as those, but very in that kind of light and white fruit. Biscuity notes. I bought a hair a couple months ago. I really like it. Awesome. Yeah, I really like it too. The biggest thing is I feel like it's probably $10 too much. I think if they could bring that price down just a little bit, honestly, this will be a perma-shelf whiskey. But I can't argue that this is not a bad whiskey whatsoever. This is a great whiskey. It's right up there for me, which is crazy, right? Glencairn 10, been aged for 10 years. I would put this in the same category. Aultmore 12 as well. It's in that sort of peak kind of light and fruity kind of, you know, it's in that realm if you have the whiskey poster. Guhan, are you from Germany? Or from Switzerland? Thanks for being an inspiration. Love your passion. Tell me if you're planning to visit Switzerland. I love Switzerland. I went to Zermatt, went to the Matterhorn, very beautiful. Some of you know, like, when I lived in London, kind of my like outlet for creativity was doing photography. And Switzerland, honestly, is so beautiful. So I'd love to go back. And a lot of my patrons are from Switzerland as well. Laurent, who's in the chat, he's from Switzerland. So I'd love to go back. Where are you in Switzerland? Joseph said, what white whale whiskey are you chasing now? Well, I think top of my list is Kilchoman Snag Cask Strength. I don't think it's in New Zealand, but it might be now. I don't think it is yet. That's what I want. That's my white whale. I'd love to buy another Springbank 12 cask strength. I already have one, but you know, that's something that is a white whale as well. Definitely. The white whale. As you say, white whale. The white whale whiskey, the ones we're trying to find. Just happen to have the white whale hat. Okay, so agree, normal price is a bit too expensive. Yeah, I just think it's a little bit too expensive, but I can't argue that it's like a really good whiskey. So anyway, it's been great to chat to you. I'm going to head off now, and it's awesome to chat to all of you. Oh, Jeff Whiskey is in. Longrow Red is his white whale. Definitely. The port cask Longrow Red. I think we saw a few of those when we were going through London. They're banging. They were just banging. They're real good. It was so awesome to meet up with you, Jeff. You're an absolute legend, an absolute treasure to the whiskey community. So, yeah. Hopefully we can do another video again. And how do you feel about Paultons and Moonshines? I had a real experience with unaged scotch out of a 2-litre milk bottle. Surprisingly good. Didn't go blind either. Yeah, I think I actually had a whiskey recently which was aged for 9 days, but it's like that new method where it's like a chemist in New Zealand and he puts like wood chips in the whiskey and it like surprisingly good. I had it blind as well, and I was like, wow, because the guy who gave it to me to taste, he came around to the house. He was like, what do you think of this? And I was like, and then he was like, how old do you think this is? And I was like, probably a 6-year-old. And you know, then he said to me, this is 9 days old. So yeah, it's not something I would go to a lot. I think moonshine works really well, probably in a cocktail. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go for like at least something with a little bit of age. Even in a New World whiskey where age is not as important, I still think a few years in the barrel is going to make a big difference. But that Cotswolds new make was amazing as well. So I don't know. I probably haven't tried that much, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to head off. I'm going to let you guys all go. It's been great to chat to you. Thank you for all your super chats, for those of you who became members. And if you want to find out about this whiskey I'll be releasing soon, you can jump over to the link that's pinned in the comments right now, firstfillwhiskey.com/neat notes, like drinking whiskey neat notes. If you can't find that, go to my website and you will see firstfillwhiskey.com and it's under content and you can find that. If you subscribe to that, and if you're interested into like trying a first fill whiskey, it's aged in a first fill cask. It's honestly absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to release it. There's a video coming out about it, but go subscribe to that if you want to join the newsletter. But yeah, it's been great to chat to you. Even those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere, those of you in New Zealand, I can't wait to see you all at Dram Fest. And upcoming videos, I got another interview with Charlie McLean. I actually recorded a one-on-one, not just with his brothers, not about the row. One-on-one, I asked him some pretty hard questions about natural colour, unfiltered whiskey, and you'll be interested to see what he thought about those. And I'll be moving to my new studio soon, so I'm keen to do more live updates. But if you come to DramFest, do come say hello to me, and yeah, join the newsletter. And I think, yeah, if there's anyone you want me to talk to, message me on Instagram or Discord from DramFest. If you want someone, you know, that I should interview for the vlog I'm going to do down there, let me know. And yeah, but above all, make sure you share and enjoy. Beauty. Great to have you all in. Great to chat to you again, even in a wardrobe. It's been awesome. Appreciate you all and following along and supporting the channel. It's not something that is a great like career or anything, but just seeing all your comments, all you guys really involved, just means the world to me. So yeah, above all, share and enjoy. Beauty.